So, testosterone and mental health. So I have an interesting kind of experience with this. I've got both myself and mental health experiences I've had, and I've also had family members that I've seen in real time have this sort of problem. And your mental health is kind of serious, especially if it's really bad or really good, because it determines the future, the trajectory of the rest of your life, for better or for worse. So it's really, really important. I've also had a few clients who were on SSRIs at some point, which could really mess with your testosterone, and maybe some of you guys are or have been on SSRIs. It's something to be aware of because the serotonin in your gut just goes through the roof, messes with your testosterone. But in terms of how testosterone helps the mental health side of things, I always remember after my first kind of breakup, first girlfriend, my one-itis, 10 years ago. I remember when that happened, that was the one time in my life where I should have been depressed. And a lot of men normally are depressed, but I wasn't. I was very sad, but I was never depressed. And my theory at the time, and I still think I'm right on this, I've not really changed my opinion, is that I was obsessed with hitting some powerlifting deadlift goal. I was obsessed with it for some reason. Really wanted to hit a 500-pound deadlift while still being quite leanish, not as lean as I am now, and that obsession meant that I was in the gym. I was training 5 days a week, training very hard, and my diet was pretty good. It wasn't as good as it is now, but it was pretty good. This was after I had unchubbied myself. If you've seen my before and after picture, that was a little over 10 years ago now. So I was about 12% body fat, training like a savage. I was putting all of my energy, instead of moping around, because I had an office job here in England. I was in the dark driving to work. It was depressing. Then I was bored all day, and I was driving back home from work in the dark and off in the rain. Very, very depressing lifestyle. But despite that, I still put all of my effort into the gym. My endorphins were constantly elevated, and I slept pretty well as well. And I always had some kind of little trip or holiday to look forward to. I think that helped. But I think the real day in, day out thing as to why I did not get depressed was the sheer amount of energy I was putting into the gym. And this is the thing, the gym is like an investment from an energy standpoint. You invest all your energy in the gym, assuming you don't get injured and you don't overtrain, it pays you dividends from an energy standpoint, especially if you do a bit of cardio as well. And so I never got depressed. And moving on from that, I would also say that now it would be impossible for me to get depressed because of many reasons. But people who I've seen in real life who are depressed, they have very little energy. Their diet isn't great, their sleep isn't great, they lose interest in training, and it's like one of those chicken and egg scenarios that just gets worse and worse, like spiraling down. And my argument is if their testosterone was higher, their energy was higher, it makes it far harder to fall into that spiral in the first place. Another point, slightly related, is the one time I have had serious mental health problems for 24 hours and some troubling thoughts, let's put it that way, was when I was dumb enough, I was very young, and this applies to a lot of you guys, because some of you guys asked me about AIs, aromatase inhibitors, and I was thinking at the time, if I take an estrogen blocker, it's an aromatase blocker essentially, that means I'll be higher testosterone. And I was looking for the shortcut. I was being a little pussy, like a percentage of my audience are, looking for that quick fix all the time. I took the AI, and because my estradiol was in range anyway, it forced my estradiol into like just nothing. I had no estrogen in my body, and that was when I was depressed for about 24 hours until my estradiol obviously came back up again. And that really opened my eyes up into just how important hormones are for your mental health. Testosterone and estradiol, and then there's a few like thyroid can play a big role, DHT even potentially. If you seriously mess up any of those, it'll mess up your head mentally. And that kind of proved to me you've got to have your hormones right. And there's a lot of doctors who are going to throw pills at people all around the Western world in particular, and they won't have even had a blood test. I mean, it's just basic. Is your estradiol on point, or is it zero like mine was? Of course you're going to have mental health problems. Is your testosterone on point, or is it like non-existent? Of course you're going to have mental health problems. You need it for not just energy, but that sense of well-being. Just physical energy. It's so important. And I am proud to say that when my estradiol did crash, and stupidly and a self-inflicted idiot, but my estradiol did crash, I still managed to get my work done. I still wrote the blog posts back when I was writing blogs donkeys years ago. I still wrote them, but it was very, very tough. And I felt like crap the whole time. And I had some questionable thoughts as well, which was a bit worrying. So the moral of this story is that regardless of what you think about mental health right now, hormones play a very important role. I'm not saying it's just about hormones, but they sure as hell, if you really badly mess one of them up, it will mess you up, guaranteed. So always get your blood work done before, trying to guess and trying to take a bunch of pills that will make your testosterone even worse. And yeah, that's it. Get your blood work done. Go from there. Develop a strategy. If you need proper analysis, someone to help you, whether you're looking at this from a mental health standpoint or a physique standpoint or whatever, I'll link below the Bloodwork analysis service. It's not cheap because it takes a lot of my time. If I'm going to analyse your blood work properly and send you plans as well, it's kind of a little bit of coaching in there, so of course it's not going to be cheap. It takes me over an hour to do, but it's well worth doing for you guys, especially if you've got mental health problems or any problems. And I'll send you the best personalised plan based on your blood work, so it's well worth it. So check out the link, and I'll see you in the next video.